We live in a time defined by passivity. Look closely. Most people are not moving forward, they are waiting for opportunity, hoping for luck, expecting wealth to arrive as if it were a handout. But the foundational truth must be stated without delay. Money, power, and influence are never granted to those who plead. They are drawn toward those who provoke. The sharp minds of every era understand this principle clearly. Money is not the objective, it is the outcome. They do not pursue it, they position themselves so it is pulled toward them. While the average man bows to scarcity, the strategist takes his seat at the table and dictates the game. In any hierarchy, the act of asking signals weakness. The act of provoking establishes dominance. Understand this reality. Money does not move toward need, it moves toward leverage. This clashes with the comforting illusion that effort guarantees reward. It does not. Life does not operate on fairness, it operates on positioning. Capital responds to intelligence, not exhaustion. And when intelligence is paired with calculated ruthlessness, it becomes magnetic. The strategist never chases clients or begs for opportunity. He engineers attraction. His actions, his words, even his silence are intentional, designed to trigger specific outcomes. Money is a form of energy, and energy flows only toward the source that controls its direction. The common mistake of the undisciplined mind is believing money is exchanged for labor. It is not. It is exchanged for strategy. One man works himself into depletion, another watches, measures, and waits. When the labor is finished, the strategist makes a single move and absorbs the reward. This is the psychology of power. It has nothing to do with time invested and everything to do with perception controlled. The human brain relies on shortcuts to assign value. Whoever shapes perception dictates the flow of resources. That is why the powerful never speak about money. They speak in terms of value, scarcity, and influence. Power is never acquired by asking permission. It is secured by constructing conditions where others offer it willingly. Money follows the same law. You do not obtain it through desperation. You provoke it by becoming necessary. The strategist never says, "Give me." He communicates, without words, that without him, things collapse. That silent message is the foundation of every empire. And finally, understand this: luck does not exist. What people call luck is simply calculation executed so precisely it becomes invisible. It is nothing mystical. It is simply the appearance of an outcome that was always unavoidable. To provoke money, you must first understand its true nature. Money is not paper, numbers, or currency. It is the visible expression of human desire. It represents safety, validation, status, and control. Whoever commands these desires commands capital itself. The strategist never pursues money directly. He targets the psychology of those who already possess it. He understands a critical truth: money is always held by people who want something more than cash. So instead of chasing wealth, he positions himself as the solution to their desire. The masses run toward money. The strategist arranges reality so money runs toward him. Study history closely. The great bankers, architects of power, and empire builders never pleaded. They engineered systems where money could not move without flowing through them. That is true intelligence, not hustle, not effort, but structural dominance. Wealth follows those who design environments where its movement becomes inevitable. This requires a cold, precise understanding of the human mind. People do not buy products. They buy emotional experiences disguised as utility. They invest in confidence, not spreadsheets. They pay for certainty, not information. This is the halo effect. Perceived authority creates value before logic ever enters the conversation. The astute individual does not complain about inequality. He analyzes it. He does not curse the system. He exploits its mechanics. He understands the world rewards applied intelligence, not moral fairness. While others chase approval and applause, he focuses on influence. Approval gives noise, influence gives control. Power psychology reduces to one principle: whoever controls perception controls reality. If you appear to need money, it avoids you. Desperation repels. But if you move with abundance, If you act as though resources already orbit you, they multiply. This paradox destroys the naive. They believe need must be displayed to receive help. In reality, people invest in what they fear losing, not what begs to be saved. This is loss aversion, and the strategist weaponizes it. He never reveals hunger. Even with nothing in his pocket, he behaves as though he owns the terrain. He understands that perception always precedes material reality. Money arrives to those who act like owners, not to those who kneel like servants. Most people are trapped in a cycle of waiting for opportunity, waiting for recognition, waiting for permission. This condition has a name: learned helplessness, a psychological state where control is surrendered and initiative dies. The strategist breaks this conditioning completely. He does not wait. He initiates. He does not hope. He provokes. If the market does not need him, he manufactures necessity. If demand does not exist, he engineers desire. If there is no stage, he builds one. While others freeze, praying for circumstances to change, he has already rewritten the rules of engagement. This is the difference between those who ask and those who provoke. One exists under the will of others. The other operates entirely under his own direction. Provocation is not aggression. It is intelligence in motion. To provoke money means to anticipate collective thought, to understand where attention is drifting and position yourself there before the crowd even arrives. The first to occupy territory does not compete. He defines the battlefield. This is blue ocean strategy applied to personal power, making competition irrelevant by creating a new value landscape. Machiavelli would have called this virtue, not moral goodness, but the ability to adapt to chaos without surrendering control. In modern terms, it is strategic thinking paired with emotional sovereignty. The astute do not react. They design. Their movements appear effortless, but every action is measured with surgical precision. Money, which responds to control and clarity, is drawn naturally to those who demonstrate mastery over themselves. Economic power is not built by collecting currency. It is built by controlling flow. The flow of information, attention, and energy. We live in an attention economy. Whoever commands attention commands wealth. Money is simply attention converted into measurable form. The strategist does not ask for investment. He provokes focus. He understands the neuroscience. Energy follows attention, and money follows energy. Control the mind, and the wallet follows automatically. Power today is no longer about dominating bodies. It is about shaping perception. In practice, provoking money means constructing symbols. People do not purchase objects, they purchase meaning. They do not pay for products, they pay for identity. This is signaling theory in action. Consumption is communication. Status is language. The strategist becomes the symbol himself. Every gesture transmits authority. Every pause signals control. Every silence speaks louder than desperation ever could. In high-stakes environments, silence is not absence. It is dominance. It is a dense form of authority. When a person speaks sparingly, every word carries gravity. This is the divide between the noise of those without power and the stillness of those who possess it. The powerless must speak constantly to confirm their existence. The powerful require no validation, their presence alone is sufficient. The fundamental mistake of the weak is confusing desire with entitlement. They assume that wanting something deeply guarantees its arrival. It does not. Reality does not reward longing. It rewards provocation. Need is irrelevant. Magnetism is everything. Money does not respond to pain, nor does it answer moral arguments or ideas of fairness. It moves toward dominant energy. When you behave like someone who holds power, reality seeks equilibrium and eventually grants it to you. This is the quiet law beneath all outcomes, a balancing force between inner posture and outer result. Those who understand this never reveal desperation. Their composure becomes their weapon, their patience becomes their armor. While others exhaust themselves pleading, they wait deliberately, knowing that power comes to those who can wait without collapsing into submiss. At its core, money is obedience. It obeys the strongest mind, not the kindest, not the most ethical, but the most commanding. This is why the astute never argue over money. They do not negotiate its worth, they define its terms. Their posture, their eye contact, their silence during exchange communicates one thing clearly: money must adjust to them, not the reverse. Here lies the paradox that confuses the average mind. This posture of dominance does not repel wealth, it attracts it. Money seeks direction. It is fluid, searching for containment, searching for a firm intelligence to assign it purpose. Weakness disperses it, certainty concentrates it. Once this is understood, everything shifts. Money is never the objective, it is the consequence. It is the shadow cast by power. Chase the shadow and you lose the source. Become the source. Command energy, perception, and inner order, and money follows inevitably. This is why the astute do not ask. They provoke, not out of arrogance but out of comprehension. They understand the invisible architecture governing outcomes. What appears on the surface, contracts, deals, investments, are merely rituals acting out a deeper psychological reality, silent dominion. To control the mind is to control money, and that control begins internally. No one can provoke wealth while enslaved by their own unstable emotions. The strategist refuses to be ruled by anxiety, comparison, or guilt. He recognizes these states as traps designed to dissolve. Magnetism. Psychology confirms this. Social comparison erodes power instantly. Each comparison surrenders authority. Each complaint leaks energy. Each doubt disrupts flow. Wealth begins where inner stability is achieved. When abundance no longer depends on external validation, the external world begins reflecting it back. This is the essence of financial Machiavellianism, mental discipline as the highest form of environmental control. It is not deception. It is direction. It is not theft. It is attraction. The deepest manipulation is never external. It is internal. To provoke money is to provoke your own evolution. You must become so grounded, so inevitable, so internally ordered that reality has no option but to respond. Money, like power, is not earned in the traditional sense. It is recognized, and recognition only comes to those who behave as owners before possession ever occurs. Understand this clearly. Money is not unjust. It is obedient. The system is not hostile. It is structured to reward the most conscious participant. Provoking wealth is not an economic maneuver. It is a psychological one. Everything originates in perception. Power is perceived before it is possessed. It is not about having control. It is about appearing to have it. The human brain reacts first to signals, posture, and emotion, and only later to logic. First impressions dominate all future judgment. Whoever appears in control is treated as such. Whoever appears needy is dismissed. The strategist understands this and creates environments accordingly. He does not chase money. He encloses it. He channels it into systems designed so that flow leads inevitably to him. What others call luck, he recognizes as structure, and that structure rests on three pillars: perception, influence, and scarcity. These are the three pillars. First, perception. The astute individual invests more effort into how he is perceived than into what he produces, not out of vanity, but out of understanding. In the modern economy, perception is the product. People do not purchase objective reality. They purchase interpretations of it. Value is rarely tied to action itself. It is tied to how that action is framed. This is why the most powerful brands do not sell objects, they sell meaning. Apple does not sell devices, it sells identity. Ferrari does not sell transportation, it sells hierarchy. The strategist applies this same logic to his own existence. Second, influence. Influence is not persuasion, it is attention control. It is the ability to move another person's will without triggering resistance. The astute do not force ideas onto others. They structure conditions so the idea feels unavoidable. They let desire do the work for them. Third, scarcity. What is everywhere is ignored. What is limited is revered. Knowing this, the strategist does not overexpose himself. He appears selectively, deliberately. When he enters a space, it matters. He arrives like a rare event, unpredictable, brief, unforgettable. Scarcity is one of the oldest instruments of power. Whoever controls presence controls desire. Provocation itself is a language, and whoever commands language commands reality. Machiavelli understood this well. A calculated word can replace the sword. The strategist treats language as an invisible weapon. He speaks rarely, but every sentence is engineered to create effect. He is not trying to impress, he is asserting dominance. His silences carry as much authority as his statements. In a world addicted to noise, silence becomes intimidation. The strategist never asks for favors, he offers opportunities. This exploits the psychological law of reciprocity. Humans are wired to repay what they receive. A favor creates obligation. A gift creates debt. Machiavelli stated this without sentiment. The one who grants you kindness gains power over you. The astute invert this law. They give just enough to establish obligation, but never enough to surrender leverage. Entire empires have been built on this principle without armies, without violence. This is why the strategist provokes rather than asks. Asking submits you to another's judgment. Provoking imposes your own. Provocation transforms passivity into control. The one who provokes wealth does not fear loss. He understands that loss is motion. To create movement, risk must exist. The average mind avoids loss. The strategic mind weaponizes it. Sacrificing a piece is sometimes the only way to win the board. Not every failure is defeat. Some failures are positioning maneuvers. Some losses are investments that compound later unseen. The difference lies entirely in perspective. The strategist does not mourn what has passed because his attention is already constructing what comes next. Mental stability is his true currency. And here lies the truth most cannot tolerate. Provoking wealth requires emotional detachment. As long as you pursue money with hunger, it will evade you. When you observe it without attachment, it moves closer. Neutrality is power. Emotional chaos repels wealth. Inner calm attracts it. This is why the astute often appear cold. They are not, they are simply ungoverned by need. Many mistake humility for weakness. The strategist knows that misunderstood humility is self-sabotage. The world does not reward contraction, it rewards expansion. Useful humility does not mean diminishing yourself. It means controlling the ego while amplifying authority. The highest form of magnetism is appearing accessible while remaining unreachable. Money seeks stable hosts. It avoids disordered minds and insecure identities. Before provoking wealth externally, the strategist provokes it internally. He constructs a psychological environment where money feels secure, ambition without desperation, desire without dependence. Money prefers order. Internal disorder expels it. So the first provocation happens within. You generate the sensation of abundance before possession. You embody authority before recognition. This disciplined internal illusion produces external gravity. The world reflects what you consistently project. This is psychological projection at scale. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler must learn to be both fox and lion. In modern terms, be subtle when influence is required and decisive when domination is necessary. Too much fox invites distrust. Too much lion invites rebellion. But the precise balance creates obedience, and obedience, silent voluntary obedience, is the final signal that wealth is already on its way. The astute individual masters both instincts. He uses intellect to foresee and strength to act. This balance commands respect. Money responds to this harmony. It submits to those who project authority with refinement. Crude force repels, polished power mesmerizes, and money, by nature, is drawn to what captivates it. Provoking wealth does not require abandoning morality. It requires understanding the rules of the arena. Power is not corruption. Power is orientation. The strategist does not aim to dominate people through oppression. He governs the currents that move them. He studies the unseen mechanics of desire and positions himself accordingly. Every individual has a leverage point. The strategist does not purchase loyalty with currency. He acquires it by supplying what is most deeply wanted. validation, safety, or recognition. This aligns directly with the hierarchy of human needs. When you satisfy psychological hunger, allegiance follows naturally. As a result, wealth returns to the strategist amplified. While others pay with exhaustion, he pays with insight. Money, in truth, is never the destination. It is the outcome of control. Command, attention, and influence emerges. Command, influence, and power consolidates. Command, power, and money becomes an unavoidable byproduct. This is the natural order of success. This is why the astute never lament crisis. Crisis is fertile ground. Disorder creates openings. This is anti-fragility, strength gained through chaos. When the crowd retreats, the strategist advances. When others hoard, he positions. When silence spreads, he implants symbols. Fear fuels motion, and motion feeds those who understand how to direct it. Money, like fire, requires movement. The panic of the masses becomes energy for those who know how to harness it. In the end, the strategist does not chase wealth, he pursues control, because whoever governs the mind governs the flow that sustains it, and true control is never forced, it is invited. It emerges from consistency, internal discipline, and deliberate presence. This is the Machiavellian psychology of money. Power is not displayed, it is sensed. Wealth is not requested, it is provoked. The strategist does not pursue gold, he creates conditions where gold pursues him. The weak continue to ask, the astute continue to provoke. One waits for chance, the other architects outcomes. One hopes for fortune, the other manufactures it. Because ultimately, money does not move between hands. It moves between minds, and only those minds capable of commanding perception, silence, and timing can summon it, without ever asking.